Check. Check. Check 1, 2.
You're from the town?
I do video production.
Which channel is it on TV?
Yeah, it's on TV. Yeah.
Really put a live on it?
Yes.
Which one is it, channel?
Channel 78.
On cable, yeah, up to 78, yeah. So my actually could have stayed home and watch it on TV.
Yeah. Or the internet too. It's gonna be live. It's live on the internet also.
But you tell me what that is on the internet. On the
Oh,
internet.
you go to the town website, the town board website,
Yes, town of Mount Pleasant.
PleasantNY.com,
Yeah,
and click on where it says town hall videos.
yes.
And then when you get to that page, click it says live meeting, click live meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how you.
good, uh-huh. Hmm.
Actually setting up now.
Yes.
Hi.
Good.
Original hashes take from
Should I put the speech later out for the people in the front? You're not
I
familiar.
guess when you could ask them when,
Yeah,
ask them what's this.
right. Yeah, otherwise they get confused with many papers. So won't you with the Dalmar Pleasant?
So they hired to do the video.
Oh, they do it, a side job, yeah. You know Joe Cheese? Joseph Cheese, he does some videos sometimes for,
Farmer,
yeah,
or I've never.
but he does that for, Northcast and sometimes. I don't know if he still does.
So they asked me a couple of years ago, some guy came and said, you want to do for North Castle? And they don't call me back. I mean,
No, maybe you should have called it back.
I did, I called him
Yeah.
a few times. I guess they didn't, it was just his idea, and they didn't like the ideas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening. Can I ask you to please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's town board meeting. It is Tuesday, March 13th, 2018. Before we get into our agenda, I just have a couple of comments in regards to the recent storm that we just dealt with. First of all, I want to thank our police department, our dispatchers, highway department, and traffic and safety for all their efforts they did continually from the beginning of the storm. My primary blame for this storm is Mother Nature. The Con Ed and the neighboring crews from the other states and Canada and the muni representatives all deserve credit for doing what they could under the circumstances. I have my questions for the management of Con Edison, and that will be dealt with shortly. What we must remember is that this was a major storm with extensive electrical damage, mainly caused not by this town board or myself, but by trees falling on wires. Unfortunately, we will have to take a serious look at the aging and possibly maybe diseased trees that may be in our infrastructure, in our right of way that could affect future power lines damage. Possibly looking at possibility of maybe some cutting and replanting of some new trees in those areas. We live in an age where everyone wants instant information, but from my perspective, much of the information that we were receiving was not accurate and it was misleading. We will be looking at ways to expand our use of our alert system and do our best to get more factual information posted as soon as possible in the near future. Bottom line, we are all responsible for ourselves and our families. Emergencies will arise as they have since the beginning of time, and we must be prepared and not assume it's government's fault or responsibility to solve all the issues. As Thomas Jefferson once said, a government big enough to give you everything you want is big enough to take away everything you have. This is not where we want to go. It is not always someone else's fault or responsibility. We must, in the end, be responsible for ourselves. I have a list of about 11, 12 items that I will be sharing. We'll be meeting with some constituents as far as what our questions will be for Con Edison moving forward, and we'll expect some answers from them.
Mr. Supervisor, just two quick things. Number one, I also just want to thank Margaret Kunzio, who's here. Margaret, we know you serve not just Mount Pleasant, but North Castle, but you were out there, along with Carl and other members of the town board advocating for the residents of our town. So with Con Ed, and I can't thank you enough for that.
Thank you.
And, every once in a while, when something bad like this happens, you get to see something good. And there were a lot of neighbors helping each other, a lot of people throughout town offering generators and food and offering to, just get somebody out of the house that had cabin fever or whatever it is. So sometimes you see good things come out of this. So anyway, thanks. Sorry.
And just to reiterate, I can't express what I saw with the volunteer firefighters and ambulance corps in town constantly. It wasn't for this big storm. It was the previous Friday. This has been going on for 8, 9, maybe even 10 days now. It's been devastating. It's tiring. But every time you turn around, they've been there. So thank you. Valhalla, Hawthorne, Thornwood, Pleasantville, and everyone that responded. This town can't do it without you on a normal day, but when there's an emergency, they respond. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the agenda, the first item is bids and awards. Our town clerk collected the bids. Do you have any information? Did you want to read it?
No,
we
they
do.
still, the
Okay.
PCI still has the,
I have some
contracts.
paperwork on that.
okay.
There were 11 bidders, and this is to do with the South Kensico water main replacement. It's a fairly large project. replacing a main that's been constantly under repair. The prices went from $504,000 to $890,000. The low bidder on this was Peter Landy, $504,450. So it is our recommendation, is our town engineer's recommendation that we award the bid to Peter Landy Incorporated.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the supervisor's report. First item is to approve ICC to review the Columbus Plaza project in the amount of $7,830. The project amount is $1,700,000, and the building permit fee will be $25,590. So this cost will be absorbed in the permit fees.
I'd like to make a motion for approval, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Ms. Smoley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is a request from our assessor, Jim Timmings. He's requesting to attend, for Joanne Paparella to attend an exemption administration course in New Windsor, New York on March 26th. It is a one-day seminar, which she will not be required to stay overnight. The cost for it is $110,000.
It's expensive. It's in the budget.
Some conference.
Must be Puerto Rico.
They don't have
It's
electricity.
$110 for New York State members, and the deadline to sign up is March 19th. She has a copy here of the registration roll, and we all look favorably on our employees trying to better themselves in representing their jobs.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the approval of contract with Choice Words. These are grant writers at $90 an hour. We have been talking about this for about 6 months. We finally did move forward with using them. Already they've come up with quite a lot of options for us as far as getting grants to help us pay for improvements in the town of Mount Pleasant. So Resolution 135 will approve Choice Words as our grant writer.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second, please.
second by Ms. Smoley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is an approval to add Sterling National Bank to the list of designated bank depositories that we originally listed on the reorganization meeting, 3/18. Resolution 136 will approve adding Sterling Bank to that list.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is approval of iCompass Meeting Management Solutions. The town board has met with this company. Actually, Pat has met with them and my assistant. Basically what it is it's a way for us to try to eliminate the tremendous use of paper that we have in town hall. We will be able to send things through the cloud. Each board member has a tablet. They would be receiving the information on a tablet instead of a pile of paper like this every meeting that we end up throwing away. Everything can be stored in this cloud, and it's a way of managing all of our meetings and all of our communications. So this approval of iCompass Meeting Management Software, and you know what, let's see. You know, I don't have the thing of the price with me. Not in the phone.
I
But,
didn't get the price.
what's that?
I didn't get the price.
Well, all right, this resolution, we had discussed this before. We already went over the totals, but this resolution will approve iCompass Meeting Management Solutions as we agreed in our previous discussions. I don't know, I thought it was in the, what they were illustrated, but. Yes, we can. We could hold off on that.
Here, Carl, if you want.
You got it?
This is the,
You have the total on there?
Yep.
Sorry.
wait a second.
This is what happens when you have too much paper.
There's a few different prices, but the
Yeah.
one, the meeting management software one.
It's 8,400.
Thank you.
Yep.
Total cost for the iCompass Meeting Management Solutions is $8,400.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
I'll second it, please.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next one is the authorization for a 30-day waiver for Arthur Avenue Wood-Fired Pizza Catering.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is amending Resolution 5118, which allows the Deputy Controller to attend the 2018 New York State GFOA Annual Conference in Albany from March 22nd to the 23rd. Due to the staffing shortage, we can't lose another person in that office.
Move to amend Resolution 51-18.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, purchase order number 18356. As you may have noticed, we're doing a lot of work on our parking outside. In the bonding, we have approved a number of improvements out there, not only the sidewalks, the curbing, the blacktop, but some signage. There's a new sign for Town Hall, which would be a lot clearer and more directive to people that come to Town Hall. This is a sign from Signs Extreme. The total cost for the sign is $4,125.
Make a motion for approval, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second, please.
second by Ms. Smalley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next purchase order is 18361 for Dennis Adams Contracting. This is renovations to the supervisor's office. If you've been in the office, you'll know that the paneling has been falling off the walls for a few years. And we've been searching around. The best price we got was $6,380 for this work.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, purchase order number 18362. This is regards to painting for that office after the renovations are completed. Total amount is $2,800.
Like to make a motion for approval, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
motion by, a second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item is purchase order number 18725. Purchase and delivery of new jet vacuum sewer cleaner. Amount of the purchase is $416,714.82. This is some of the equipment that was bonded moving forward for 2018. More and more, the excavation around utilities requires not using a backhoe. This factor saves a lot of damage, and it's been a lifesaver for the water department. The one we have now will be used strictly for the highway department, and this one will be basically used for the water department. So resolution 143 will approve the purchase order of 18725.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Mr. Capello. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Just so you know, the next few items I'm going to be talking about are all bonded stuff that we worked on for the equipment for 2018. Next one is purchase and delivery of a John Deere backhoe loader, purchase order number 18726. Total cost $144,323.42.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Ms. Smalley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, another piece of equipment, 18831 Frontier 60-inch power rake. Total cost $7,715.38.
Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next piece of equipment, purchase order number 18837. John Deere backhoe loader 310L. New York State, according to New York State contract. Total cost $103,229.20.
Are you on the other side of the New York State contract?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll note that.
Yes. I'm looking at them right now, Pat. I can
Supervisor Bottle. The motion?
We need a motion.
Oh, move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Capello. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, purchase order number 18903, computer replacements in Town Hall, totaling $12,785.68. We had talked about this before also. We had to approve Sullivan Data going out for bids on this. This is also a New York State Empire special contract. Like I said, total is $12,785.68.
Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Ms. Smalley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item, which is not on your agenda, this is a late addition. Unfortunately, we received a letter of resignation from the Honorable Nicholas Maselli, our town judge. Because of his desire to spend more time with his family, tendering his resignation as Justice of the Town of Mount Pleasant, effective June 1st, 2018. He wishes to thank the citizens of Mount Pleasant who have shown their confidence in his ability to be fair and just by electing him town justice. He also wishes to thank supervisor, town board members, all the department heads, and the chief of police, the town employees and police officers for their professionalism displayed when dealing with the operation of the court. And to his co-justice, the Honorable Robert Ponzini, he thanks him for openly sharing his judicial wisdom. I'm gonna hear about that. Gleaned from his years on the bench. I can honestly say we have a positive working relationship. Special thanks goes to the court clerk and staff who work diligently every day to prepare necessary paperwork so that the court criminal and civil calendars proceed efficiently in order to benefit. Nick Maselli was a judge effective September 30th, 2006 until present, until June 1st, actually. We all got to love Nick. He was a great guy. He still is a great guy, but we will miss him as our town justice. The resolution will just accept his resignation
Move for approval.
effective June 1st. Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Ms. Smalley. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That's 147A.
Yes.
Okay. Connected to this, accepting the resignation, we will need to fill the vacancy right away. due to the appointee needs to be sitting starting in June. Because Judge Ponzini will not be available to sit at that time, the appointee needs to observe and familiarize his or herself of the procedures with Judges Ponzini and Maselli before he leaves, and meet with the staff, complete and submit the necessary paperwork for the OCA. We will be accepting resumes and begin interviewing next week, and will look to appoint by the end of the month. Tom and Lori, council people, will be away, so Nick and I, and possibly one other individual, will be doing the interviews and reporting back to the board for recommendation. The appointee will be required to run and win for a full term in November. So resumes, we're happy to accept any resumes starting as of now. Thank you. Move on to business from the floor. Anybody wish to address the board at this time is welcome to do so. Oh, now?
Sure. Supervisor Pothole.
Obviously the question of potholes is on everybody's mind right now. Now that we got electric back on, we're focusing on potholes. Nick, I don't know if you wanted to add anything to the pothole. That's your.
Yeah, just, clearly the three storms, but also the winter in general with the deep freeze back in January, all the thawing that occurred in February has wreaked havoc on the roads. And our town is no different than any other in that there are a lot of potholes, and some of them are pretty bad. So if you haven't noticed, you certainly, I'm sure you will sometime this week. But our crews are actually going to be out there with nice weather coming. They'll be out there and hopefully repairing as many as possible over the next couple of weeks. What we came to a consensus is that we're going to suspend some of our typical early spring services from the highway department, such as mulch delivery and such things as that, until the potholes are fully repaired and those roads are restored back to a nice condition. Upon completion of that, we will then begin our typical springtime services again. So just an advisory to everyone on that: be patient with mulch and such services, because we want to fix the roads first.
Thank you. We can move on to business from the floor. Anybody wish to address the board?
Oh, yes, I might want to, if it's time.
Yes.
Should I stand up there?
Yes, please.
And sign in, please.
Is
Sign in, please.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you get to the microphone, let us know who you are too and where you live. A lot of requirements here.
Oh, I'm eager to fulfill it.
Yeah. Which contracts they
I'm Nathan Resica. I live at 11 Pamela Lane, lived there for about 3.5 years. It's been heaven. Valhalla is heaven. It was tough with the storm. Just thought I'd mention a couple of things. We had a very nice German couple. Her husband died due to the cold. And I know they were stubborn. He didn't want to leave the house. But what was weird was that first Con Ed gave us an estimate of a time it would come back on before the second storm. And then, so we stuck it out, it was very cold. And then 3 hours before the 11 p.m. time, they said, now we've extended it 2 more days. So that was kind of like, why couldn't they just have told us earlier, we're not going to have it on, And so I'm not blaming, I'm just saying some way to avoid in the future. Because also, I remember Rob Astorino at one of the last meetings said that when they close Indian Point, it could cause more blackouts. Now, I know that was not the reason for this, but imagine we have blackouts in the winter. It's very dangerous when the cold hits you and you have a blackout. So I'm hoping that, does anyone know more about that, like Indian Point's closure and how it will affect the electric grid? Remember that?
Oh, my.
Oh, I could tell you it wouldn't affect it in the winter. The heavy load is in the summer.
Really? Because
Yes.
oh, okay. The electric is used more because I know my bill is much higher in the winter than the summer because of the subsidies or whatever they're tacking on Con Ed bills. But after this, we paid like to heat my house was so much, and then this happens, and I know, but it's just great if they would communicate better because I know.
Oh, yeah, that was the biggest problem with us too, because a lot of the misinformation you were getting, we were getting too. And it's very, very frustrating because you couldn't as I'm sure the supervisor will tell you, you couldn't give people accurate answers. And once we started discovering that we were being given inaccurate information, we didn't want to endorse inaccurate information, because once they hear it from us, they think it's gospel. So we were very, very frustrated with Con Ed's response or lack thereof, and the misinformation that they were giving us. They assigned 1 or 2 liaisons to town hall. Couldn't have been nicer people. From what I hear, they knew nothing.
Right.
So it was very, very frustrating. So.
Well, I missed Sandy here. We were in Washington Heights, and that was one of the few places that didn't get a blackout during Sandy. We lucked out. But Sandy happened in October when it wasn't that cold. So if you get stuff like this when it's cold, that was when I was realizing we had to stay somewhere else finally after 4 days, and a friend put us up. But it was like, now you just got to realize people don't do well in that kind of cold. Thank God for the power. But the other question I had, I was reading something. It was in Greenberg, White Plains. They were talking about putting bike lanes in next to the roads. And I want to make sure that never happens here, because in New York City, they got a bureaucrat, an unelected bureaucrat, to ruin the whole city and take cars, move them to the middle of the street, stick these bike lanes into next to every car. And literally 1% of all people bike to work. That's 1%. And it ruined it for everyone else.
Interesting.
And the bikers, wherever they go, they never obey a stop sign. They always go through. They can hit pedestrians. They're going the wrong way. There's no way to clean that up. And when you put if you have a bike lane, that's great, like a path somewhere, but never put it next to a road, because there's always accidents. And then they have these accidents, a biker gets hit. And so their answer is to the mayor of New York lowered the speed limit of cars, slowing people even more, slowing ambulances even more. And now the new answer is congestion pricing, instead of getting rid of the bike lanes that aren't working. So I'm saying, as I came here to get away from all that, so I really think it would be crazy to put bike lanes in Greenberg, White Plains, Central Ave. That's insane. It's already slow enough. So I could talk to you forever about that.
As far as I'm concerned, you came to the right place.
Yeah, because the whole thing is, you pay your excise tax, your gas, your car tax, and you got a biker in front of you taking up a lane in a Riverside Drive in New York, and suddenly you got to drive 15 miles an hour for all day. And the cops say, no, you just got to treat it like it's a car. But that can't quite, I don't know, it just doesn't work. And what's the other thing? Oh yeah, I noticed they changed the trash pickup after a holiday. They wouldn't pick it up for a whole week after the Monday holiday. I think they still do that, like your basic garbage. Like there was always a 2 bi-weekly pickup, Monday and Thursday. But if there was a holiday and Tuesday was they would pick it up Tuesday, then you'd have to wait till the next Monday. And after a major, sometimes you get so much garbage. I think waiting that long for garbage pickup doesn't really work. So I don't know if they could go back to.
We've heard arguments on both sides of that. It's something we had tried. We saved over $400,000 a year by making that adjustment.
Yeah, but it's a lot of garbage around the house when you have it not only once a week.
Time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Nice
very
to meet
Thank you very much.
Nice to hear your voice.
Hello, my name is Manfred Janowski. I already signed in, and I got copies of the speech for all of you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Gentlemen.
I already handed that out.
Yeah, you did?
Yeah.
Did you have it?
Yes.
Do you have it?
And I read it. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good.
I'll stick to my agenda. I would have something to add to the power problem with the bike lanes, but since I only have 5 minutes, let me go here. My name is Manfred Janowski, a 49-year resident of Valhalla. The first item is the Commerce Street Railroad crossing, where there was the major accident of the car getting hit by a train. I'm not looking for any permanent solution or any detail here. I just want to mention the idea top of my head. I'm no expert any signage whatsoever. Leave that to your police department. I just wrote down, I recommend looking into closing Commerce Street from Lakeview Avenue to the east side of the Taconic State Parkway to all passenger car traffic. Since commercial vehicle drivers are more familiar with this hazardous railroad crossing by blocking the section of Commerce Street, passing through the Kensico Cemetery to passenger car plated drivers, this should reduce the potential for future railroad collision. Maybe it's too complicated to implement. I know when you had the accident, there was accident on the Taconic, people got rerouted. So that might not help it, even if you say only trucks are allowed, but that's something you guys can figure out. May not be workable. But if it is, it wouldn't cost much. Second item, we have too many power outages during major windstorms. Because I'm an electrical contractor, I live across where the town hall is, and I see the big pine trees fall down every 3-4 years in a storm. Sandy, or what have you. Irma, and these are obvious that they're going to keep falling again. This has got me angry as an electrical contractor. That's the only reason I'm for the town hall. On all the other things, they were always in the back of my mind. I wouldn't have come out for these other things. So, do you want me to read what I wrote there, or just forget it?
No, go ahead.
About half the major electrical power outages, as I have noticed the last 30 years, in the town of Mount Pleasant seem to be caused by large, broken, white pine trees. White pines are very brittle, they don't sway with the storm. These trees just snap, and as these trees fall, they just take all the power phone, cable lines, transformers, and sometimes whole utility poles down with them. I think we need a new town ordinance regulating the maintenance of all overgrown trees near power lines. I mean, I'm not for excessive large government, so you guys got to decide. Do not say this cannot be done. As an example, township architectural review boards, or maybe the rules of eminent domain could be used since it's for the general public good. Some trees are quite obviously ready to fall on lines in the next major storm. What I didn't write in here, I think a few storms is a good thing to have. It gets us ready for emergency preparedness. You gotta have heat. And that gentleman, he should be ready to live 3-4 weeks without electricity and heat. Maybe get a wood stove with some batteries and some food and some water. Anyway, we need this year, some trees, all new planted trees should eventually be trimmed before they could threaten power lines. And this paid for by the property owner. That's what I mean newly planted. This is something which could be instituted now, but the fruits will only be seen 40 from 50 years from now. If you cut too much now, it'll look ugly. But if trees, as they are planted, as they are supervised, when they reach a height where they threaten the power lines, if they're properly maintained, they wouldn't fall. But I mean, not excessive, a few power outages are good. And when they're planted, the owner could pay for maintaining them. And then I'm thinking, furthermore, any existing dangerous trees, now they're there now, it's existing. Even if they are planted 40 feet into private property, should be trimmed by the town of Mount Pleasant for now. Now that's going to be a problem because the owner's going to object. They say it's on my property, but that's where maybe eminent domain public good laws would come in handy. Similar to an architecture review board, you need experts from your town, but they have to have the absolute right, and they need the backing to tell them this tree. Well, I don't know how you can do it if it even can be done. But the cost to the town should be reimbursed by Con Edison. That's going to be next to impossible to do too. But you could say they save cost from excessive damage, but so they could reimburse you for that. But Con Edison, they're always going to make the same thing with their profit margin. Most of the benefits of my proposal will probably take 30 to 50 years to show real positive results. Since these proposed regulation changes would be very complicated, needing a lot of effort to accomplish, I assume my proposal will be hard to implement. I wrote originally it would be trash, but somebody told me don't do that, you're defeating yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Janowski.
Yeah. I totally, in today's selfish world, now thanks to Reka, that little lady sitting there, a lot of folks do not care much about improving things for the future generations ahead of us. But I had to get this proposal off my chest, and short-sightedness seems to be becoming more and more the norm. It's a tough one because you wouldn't see the benefits for 40 to 50 years. Third, too many one-way, wrong direction car accidents at the Mount Pleasant Town Hall. But I spoke to your foreman, Corey Antonescia, with the safety department, and he showed me they're going to make the curb there. So it's all problems with one-way problems. But apparently it's a county road, and the signage as far as one-way was totally crummy all along. I live here 44 years on Columbus Avenue, lots of accidents. So apparently the county has the right to decide what to do, but the county is not God. I think the county should be forced to coordinate it with your people. You're expert, you live here.
Mr. Janowski.
We are discussing that with the county, and
Yeah,
we are gonna make some changes on that.
So
great. Yeah, no, I thought so. I just wanted to give you backing from the
But
public.
I'd like to make your comments part of the record tonight. They will be part of our minutes, so
Yes,
all that information will be part of the record.
yes,
So,
sure.
but because your 5 minutes have expired, Mr. Janowski. So if you want to sum up, go ahead.
Create shortcut bicycle paths to private property for kids to bike to school using eminent domain, more biking pathways to reduce school busing. Fifth, decentralized elementary school, so school kids have a better chance to walk or bike to school for more exercise. And then I was going to shortly mention what I had done for the town in the past, very important. You read it, print it up. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the parking lot property. There'd be a firehouse. I'm the only one who objected to that. But otherwise, you wouldn't have the middle school where it is, because you are ready to sell this to Capelli for office buildings to get $2-3 million, so you could give raises to the school authorities, superintendents, without raising taxes. But they were ready to go for it. The people were fed up here with increased taxes. The schools tremendously went up, so they figured we'd sell the property, keep them quiet, we wouldn't have to raise taxes for a couple of years. And I told them, like, no, excited, I'm sorry, but you speak in public, and that's why they didn't do it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Anyone else like to address the board? Please sign in.
Thank you very much. I'm County Legislator Margaret Kunzio, and I want to echo the sentiments of everyone on this board, thanking the emergency fire departments as well as the emergency ambulance corps, DPW, as well as the police department. But there's one other group that needs to be thanked, and that's all the town and village officials. As you know, we've been dealing with this storm for many days, and I've been in communication with Supervisor Fulgenzi as well as the Village of Pleasantville Mayor and the supervisor of North Castle. And I think that it needs to be said that you were out there, boots were on the ground. When we drove through different areas and spoke to people, it was evident that you were there. And I think that that's something that everyone should know and needs to know. I'm here to also report on what the county is doing regarding this. As you know, we were on a Con Ed call every day since last Saturday, averaging 2 to 2.5 hours a day. That call was with state, federal, as well as county officials. The Board of Legislators last night unanimously approved a resolution with a 14-0 vote. And in this resolution, we are calling on the Public Safety Commission to go over rules for both Consolidated Edison, Con Ed, and New York State Electric and Gas, NYSEG, resulting from the damage from Winter Storms Riley and Quinn. We are also going to be holding what's called a COW, a committee of the whole, which we will be inviting the management from both Con Ed and NYSEG to come in and not only explain what went wrong, but to really problem solve and to figure out how we can make this better in the future. We know that there will be more storms. It was a perfect storm with these two back-to-back storms. And the snow today didn't help in the upstate areas of the county, which some of them lost power again today. I want to thank you guys for everything that you did working with the EOC, the Department of Emergency Services, and the commissioner there, Commissioner Cullen, was also very helpful. I reached out to him. He was very helpful with a lot of families in town. And I want to thank the residents because people did come out, and there is that good side. They came out, they asked what you can need, including ourselves. We lost 2 huge trees, and people said, "Are you okay?" Checked in. And I think that's something that needs to be said, is that people helping people is a very important part. The county is also going to be holding a meeting with state and federal officials within the next couple of weeks. I will communicate that with the supervisor as well, and that's going to be held down at the county on the 9th floor, so that we again can try to problem solve and really think about what we can do to work together to solve this problem. I think that going forward, we need to think of ways that we can work together and problem solve, and hopefully that will alleviate. I know this was a very trying time and a very stressful time for many people, because it is not easy living without power, especially in the cold temperatures. But I think it's important that we come together and we work to see how we're going to solve this. But thank you guys again for all of your help, because you really should be commended for being out there, reaching out to the residents, and also being on those calls, communicating with the county, communicating with the state. So thank you.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you.
Margaret.
Yeah, one person and I don't know how we could forget them as well. Thank you, Margaret. Well said. Was also Senator Murphy. You know, Terrence, you know, reached out to us. He was in communication with Carl constantly. He's been a tremendous resource for us, not just in this instance, but, you know, throughout. So,
And the county EOC was constantly in communication with me also, and as with Margaret. And the governor's office was also communicating with me on a daily basis, so.
Good.
Everybody was trying to do their best. Anyone else like to address the board?
Ken Noonan, Valhalla. Regarding the communications, I'm signed up for alerts from the town. I'm signed up for Nixle alerts. I got Nixle alerts from North Castle, but I got nothing from the town of Mount Pleasant. Now, in the event of an emergency or some kind of a disaster like this, where should one go to get information?
Well, like I said before, when I read my statement before, I said that there are improvements that we want to make on our alert systems. The Nixle system actually changed over. It's supposed to be even better than it was before, but we have to implement it. We have to get everybody signed up for it, and we have to make some changes. We need somebody that's going to be designated to handle sending out those alerts. It's not something that I can be doing, especially if I'm out on the road. I can't be sending out alerts. And like I said before, the communication that I was getting in the EOC from Con Ed was not proper information. I don't want to tell you, Mr. Noonan, your power is going to be on 11 o'clock tonight, and it's a week later. I can't share information if I'm not comfortable with it. Mr. DiPaolo has helped tremendously with getting stuff out there on Facebook, for those of you on the Facebook, but it was limited information that we had that we felt comfortable with. But we're looking to make improvements to our emergency alert systems.
and we actually, you know, I'm glad you brought it up, because we'd like to see more people sign up for it. It's, I mean, you know, arguably we could have used it more, but, you know, we'd like to see more people sign up for it, because I don't know how many people are signed up for it now, but it's very, very low. And I think, do we have a link on our website to do it? So if you get the word out, you know, talk to people, please.
There's a link on the website to sign up for Nixle?
Exactly.
Yes.
There is?
Exactly,
there is.
yeah.
Yes.
So that would be good, because we'd like to be able to, you know, when it's utilized, have it reach as many people as possible. So.
Mr. Noonan, did you have it linked to your cell phone? Because I did get the Nixle on my cell phone.
Yeah, I did too.
I got all the alerts from Mount Pleasant that came through
I
on my
didn't
cell
get any
phone.
alerts from
It didn't come on your cell phone?
No, I got it from North Castle, but I didn't get anything from Mount
No, I
Pleasant.
got them from Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't explain how those electronic things work, but I did get them.
Well, I thought you just said that you didn't send out any alerts. How would I get an
No, I got-
alert if
I
they
can
weren't sent out?
actually show you my phone. I don't have it
Oh,
here right
okay.
now, but I can show it to you.
The other question I have is regarding the choice words. I had a look at the contract. It looks like about a $40,000 contract that you have with them. What is Choice Words required to do? What is their minimum requirement in this contract?
They're required to seek out available grants for the town of Mount Pleasant. There are tremendous amount of projects that we're working on that we do not want to fund with taxpayer dollars. There's water main repairs and stuff like that. There's culvert replacements. There's a lot of things, and all our departments spoke with Choice Words and explaining what their needs were. And they implemented that into their plan to seek out whatever they can to get us these grants.
But they're billing us hourly.
They're billing
For
you
their work.
hourly.
We
with-
budgeted, I think we budgeted, we estimated what it would be for the year. And correct me if I'm wrong, please.
Yeah, I think it was,
I think we budgeted a certain dollar amount to.
It's a retainer you have, a $3,150 a month retainer is what I read in the paper.
Which they're billing against
They're
So
billing against that.
That's exactly right.
Okay. There's no minimum requirements, the number of grants that they have to apply for each month or anything like that?
we
Just-
interviewed 3 different companies,
Yes.
3 different grant writers. This is the one we felt the most comfortable with. And they have a good track record also. That's why we went with them.
We explored like a contingency arrangement where, well, if you get this amount of a grant, you get paid this, but they don't do that. They said, and none of the grant companies that we interviewed would do it that way. They said it's improper.
But in fact, they could go the whole year and not get one grant and still get $40,000 or so.
No.
Well, they have to apply for them. There's never a guarantee you're going to get a grant. So that's up to the state or the agency or the foundation or whoever you're applying to. But they're going to actually do the work. But there's no guarantee they're going to get a grant.
And there's no minimum regarding the number of applications that they're going to make in a month or a year. Or
No.
But it's the same thing. If we, as a town board sitting here, were to apply for a grant, there's no guarantee we're going to get it also.
Mhm.
But the point being is that we discussed this at length. They have the expertise. They understand grantees and the process for applying for grants. So they're able to really hone in on, if we explain to them what we need, they can identify where the grants are. They understand the application process. They're more of the experts in doing this. Again, there's no guarantee when anyone, even an expert in grant writing and grant applications, will be awarded that particular grant.
Mhm.
So it was our decision to go with someone that's skilled in applying for grants, in identifying and applying for grants, to see, because it's something that this board felt we needed professional advice in and professional skill. Again, they're on retainer. We will be able to hopefully tap into some of the funding that's out there and bring more funding in for special projects here in the town of Mount Pleasant.
Thank you.
Mr. Noonan, just real quick, there was one Nixle alert that did come through. You can see how they look there. That's the only one that was sent out.
So this is just the one.
So if you didn't get it, you may want to check with
I'll
the,
check.
yeah,
I gotta
check.
my phone.
So
You should have
thank
also gotten, there was a whole bunch of Facebook stuff on the town Facebook, which I think you're a member of, so you should have gotten those.
We were busy doing a lot of things and not going on Facebook. That's the thing.
You're one of the few.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's true. Anyone else like to address the board? Being no further speakers, we'll move on to the town clerk's report.
Bid opening, various highway materials, tree removal, trimming, and stump removal. Received town clerk, supervisor, and registrar's report for February 2018. Received building department report, February 2018. Received liquor license application, Arthur Avenue Wood Fired Pizza and Catering Incorporated, 210 Marble Avenue, Thornwood, New York. 2 planning board resolutions, KIJ Properties LLC steep slope permit, Virginia Hillside LLC special permit approval and renewal. 4 zoning board resolutions, Salvatore Sama, Robert Barbuto, Jonathan Villani, and Lori A. Smittle. Received notice of public hearing from the Village of Sleepy Hollow, reference public comments on applications for Lighthouse Landing Communities LLC. 1 claim, Joyce Ann Augustine versus the town of Mount Pleasant. And I received a resignation letter from Justice Nicholas Muselli to take effect June 1st. I just want to remind anybody that commutes and buys their parking permit They are now in effect. They went into effect March 1st. And if you don't have your new permit, you will be receiving a ticket. And we also ask you to take your old permits off your cars. Thank you.
Thank you. Item G would be referred to our town attorney.
Thank you.
Moving on to council reports. Councilman Saliano.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My report is the controller's memo. The following claims are submitted for town board approval. Justice Court, Carl R. Anderson. This is for steno services, $4,600. Jan Steno, $2,875. The total is $7,475. Central Data Processing, Tyler Technologies Incorporated. This is from 4/13 to 4/12/19 for Munis support, $6,467.74. Off-street parking, New York State Department of Transportation, $1,400. Information services, Pleasantville Community Television, $800. From Public Safety, Medical Warehouse Incorporated. Emergency supplies, $657.91. Mavis Tire Supply Corporation, this is for stock tires for PD cars, $855.30. The total is $1,513.21. From adult programs, American Heritage, Gojo Karate, $1,678.75. From the Planning Board, Cleary Consulting, February 2018 project administrative fees, $1,000. For January 2018 project administrative fees, also $1,000 for $2,000 total. Moving forward to capital building improvement, Peter J. Landy Incorporated, Town Hall exterior, $247,395.29. From the Capital Joint Water District, HP Incorporated, PC Equipment Water Department, $1,048.04. From the Joint Water District Fund, Fisher Scientific, $2,383.86 and $720.99. Moving forward to Trust and Agency Escrow, Cleary Consulting, the Baker Residential, $2,973.50. Columbus Plaza Associates, LLC, refund escrow project completed, $8,875. Again, Cleary Consulting, 85 Virginia Road, $375. Zeiss Drive Assisted Living, $500. 98 Eastview, $312.50. 23 and 25 Kings Grant Way, $687.50. And 15 Commerce Street, $187.50. The total for that category is $13,875. The grand total is $286,757.88. It's signed Maria Langlois. She's our controller. I respectfully ask the board for a motion of approval, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. We have one other item, Mr. Supervisor. This is the 2017 year-end budget reallocations. We're going to reallocate $109,712 into the A fund. We're going to reallocate $148,029 into the B fund. And we're also lastly going to reallocate $15,123 in the DB fund. I ask the board for a motion of approval for this reallocation of funds, please.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Great. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Rubio.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I have but one item on this evening's agenda, and we have a letter here from Mike Pierce, our lieutenant, requesting that we approve our police department swap of one of our Ford Crown Victorias for a canine-equipped Chevrolet Tahoe, currently owned by the Brewster Police Department. We have a newly started canine unit in our police department, and this would be an even exchange, and it would benefit the police department in this fashion. Dave Barker, who was our ace repairman, inspector, do-it-all person who we trust implicitly, inspected the unit with the Tahoe, with Lieutenant Pearson. It appears to be in working order. So again, the police department is requesting approval to exchange one of our esteemed Ford Crown Victorias for a Chevy Tahoe from the Brewster Police Department.
Antique.
Yeah, antique is exactly right. So I ask for the board's approval for this exchange, and all town property will be removed from the vehicle prior to the exchange being made.
Motion by Mr. Rubio,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Good night.
Thank you. Councilwoman Smalley, you got a lot on her plate tonight.
Okay, Mr. Rubio, I want to swap. You had one item, I had 15.
It's all in how fast you talk, Lori.
Okay, I'm going. Well, the good news is most of the things I had to speak about
Less is
are these are from Parks and Rec, and it really reflects the summer. So let's put our mind there, okay? So the first item is an approval of the pay scale for the 2017?
18.
It should be 2018 seasonal park staff. There are no changes since 2008 for this pay scale. The memo lists it all. It's memo number 15, and I'll just go through it very quickly. New hires, 18 years old and up, it's $11 an hour. Year 2, it goes to $11.50. Year 3, $12. Year 4, $12.50. Year 5, $13. Year 6, $13.50. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is memo number 16. This is for the 2018 day camp and pool employee pay scale. There is an attached pay scale on the back of the memo. This will reflect the pay raises approved by the board in January of 2018. These are an increase, 50 cents an hour for up to 4 years and $1 an hour for 5 years plus. This was discussed at length by the Recreation Commission and approved by the board. One of the reasons it was done is because we found that increasing the pay scale for these two areas, lifeguards and day camp counselors, helped to retain already trained and experienced staff, making sure that the staff at our pool and our day camps provided safe, efficient, and effective care to both facilities. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 3 is memo number 18. The Recreation Parks Department requests the approval of the 2 following part-time recreation attendants effective February 15th, 2018. Lisa Pizzola and Hannah Etlinger for Ladies' Night Out. Lisa is at $20 an hour for Ladies' Night Out and special events, and Hannah is at $10 an hour for Ladies' Night Out and special events. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Memo number 19 is for Christopher Madera as a temporary recreation attendant. Date effective March 14th, 2018, at a rate of $12 an hour. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Se-
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Memo number 20, effective March 6th, dated March 6th, 2018. Recreation Department requests the approval of Maureen Doyle, recreation attendant, to be paid $18 an hour effective February 12th, 2018. Recreation and Parks is working with Civil Service to permanently appoint Maureen into the full-time title of recreation attendant. While this process is taking place, we request this for her part-time salary. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item, now we get down to the nitty-gritty, is purchase order 18365, and this is for cleaning and atomized ductwork, coils, and blowers in the Recreation Department. The total cost is $1,700. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is purchase order 18846. This is for Municipal Toy Company Incorporated. It's for the Easter or the spring celebration to be held down at Broadway Field. And this is for plastic eggs with candy, Easter tubes with jelly beans, Pez, Tootsie Pops, etc. for the young people. And the total cost is $1,464. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Very good, thank you. The next item, purchase order 18850, is for Custom Clay Incorporated of Syosset, New York. It's Ballfield Clay Sand Mix. The price is per the Town Board Resolution 101-18. The price was agreed upon for $65 a ton. We order it as needed. We order 35 to 40 tons per delivery. This will come in 4 different loads. Usually 40 tons at $65 each, for each load at $2,600. So the total purchase for these 4 deliveries will be $10,400. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Very good, thank you. The next items that you hear me speak about are all in relation to our day camp programs that are coming up. And these are for trips that are coming, and they must be paid in advance of the trips. The next is purchase order 2018-04, Teamscape trip to Hershey Park. The total cost is $8,569.10. This pays for admission, meals, and the amusement tax. The check is needed by 3/23/18 to pay for this. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is 201805, trip to Six Flags New England totaling $6,741.90. It's for the combo package with the meal voucher. The check is needed by 3/23/18 with a full payment on 3/30/18. The total again is $6,741.90. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is 2018-06, trip to Six Flags, New Jersey, totaling $15,305. This is Hurricane Harbor admission, meal voucher, bus parking and processing. Oh, goodness. And then there was a second trip added on here, Six Flags admission, meal voucher, bus parking. They need the payment by June 1st. The total will be $15,305. Again, as you can see, it's a lot of advanced planning. Move for approval, please. It is 2 trips, yes.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is 2018-07, trip to Mountain Creek, which totals $5,508.21 for admission tickets, food vouchers. The deposit was due as soon as possible, and the total is due by 6/8/18. Again, the total is $5,508.21. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Very good, thank you. The next item is PO number 2018-08, Great Ventures trip to Grand Prix on July 10th, totaling $2,500. And the deposit was due ASAP. The payments due June 22nd. Planning ahead. Again, that total is $2,500. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
I was going to say no one's in favor. Okay.
Any opposed?
I know it gets lengthy, but it's necessary.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The next item is purchase order 2018-09. The trip to Great Adventures and Great Escape trip to medieval times, totaling $14,592.20. And the deposit was due to 26/18. The total, of course, due 6/15/18. Again, the total is $14,592.20. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And the last item is 2018-10, trip to Splashdown Beach totaling $5,258. Deposit has been given. It's due by June 15th. Move for approval, please.
Motion by Ms. Smalley,
Second.
second by Mr. DiPaolo. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I thank you for listening, and just as a disclaimer, please remember that the costs of these trips are included in the fees the parents pay to send their kids to day camp. Parks and Rec is kind of like a clearinghouse. The fees for these trips are included in the fees people pay for day camp. It's not that your tax-paying money is paying for all these trips. People pay for camp. We organize and we staff the camps and we provide the programs. And of course, because we send a large amount of kids to the programs, we do get discounts. But I don't want the taxpayers to think that we're so generous that we can send these kids. They do have a wonderful summer through our Parks and Rec department. Everyone in the county knows we run a really good program. But just so you know, all the money I just spoke about is supported by the children's parents. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman DiPaolo.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Good evening to the public. On behalf of the Highway Department, I have two items on the agenda this evening. The first is for purchase order 18594, and that is seeking authorization for 600 tons of road salt, hopefully the last one of the season, from Atlantic Salt Incorporated in the amount of $41,520. Move for approval. That's with a fuel adjustment change. Grand total is $41,868. Move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
I'll second that.
second by Mr. Saliano. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second item is seeking authorization to release the bond amount for curb cut permit 1430, and that's in the amount of $2,565, and that is for work completed and performed at Commerce Street in the name of Kensico Cemetery. The work was completed to the satisfaction of the highway superintendent. I move for approval.
Motion by Mr. DiPaolo,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item is our schedule of meetings. Tuesday, March 20th will be our work session at 7 p.m. Tuesday, March 27th will be our business session at 8 p.m. If there be no further business from the board, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Saliano,
Second.
second by Mr. Rubio. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.